Hey y'all, welcome back to week 7 of Knowing Jesus. This week we look at the Gospel of Mark and towards the end of his life when he's brought before the religious leaders right before his execution. And I'm going to try something different this week. I am going to spend more time in the text in large group than usual. Usually I take some topical idea of, justice and judgment and stuff like that, but this week we're just going to really focus in large group on some aspects of that chapter, and I particularly am going to focus on the idea that when he was brought before his accusers, false accusations, they couldn't get any stories to line up, the fact that his brothers become his disciples, and that his mother comes and worships him, and that the fact that his closest friends all claim that he is sinless is just testimony to the fact that he actually genuinely was sinless. Because if anyone could have exposed him, it would have been the people closest to him. And then in your curriculum, you'll see there's 2 sections: Daniel and the Psalms. I think Psalm 110, Daniel 7. And I would love for you to share those passages with your small group, just so that they understand the connection of the Old Testament prophecies pointing towards the New Testament reality of who Jesus was. I know that's really important, that students understand that God had a meta-narrative, a large picture narrative of redemption that starts in Genesis 3 when he promises to send the seed of the woman that will crush the head of the serpent, and that Jesus throughout the Old Testament is alluded to and prophesied and spoken about, and that ultimately that character, that individual, that promised one, which is the word Messiah, means the one that was promised, actually does show up on the scene. And again, we've been talking about this for a couple weeks. I think last week and the week before, one of the questions was, Jesus was saying, who do you say that I am? And why that answer is so important in the day and age that we live in, because many people think that Jesus is a great teacher. He has great morals. They love the stuff he talks about, like the love your neighbor stuff. And if you take that in exclusion of his statements that we read in Mark chapter 14 this week, when the religious leaders ask him, "Are you the Messiah? Are you the Son of the Blessed One?" And Jesus' response was, "I am." And they lost it because they knew he was referring back to Yahweh, and that he was claiming to be the Son of the I am. And they yelled blasphemy. And that would be true if he wasn't that one. And that was where the big hang up. They couldn't pin one accusation against him except for his identity of who he claimed to be. So what a great opportunity this week to talk about who Jesus is and why it's important that we identify him for who he said he was, and help our students grow and understand and know that more. There's some practical questions in there about forgiveness and about knowing that Jesus is able to forgive us, and how do we as imperfect people enter into his presence with confidence and assurance, and the gospel speaks clearly about that. So look forward to seeing you this week. We don't have anything extra planned other than intro, worship, large group, small group. So we look forward to seeing you guys this Wednesday night.